Wednesday, and this is Torino Rich with the Godzilla Torino channel. Days from now, I'm going to go check out the all-electric Mustang, and I'm pretty excited. There's a lot of reasons why I think this car is a nice addition to the Ford lineup, and it's I think it might be the Mustang for a person like me. Really can't justify another performance Mustang. My lady has an EcoBoost convertible, and we don't even drive it that much. It's very impractical most of the time. It's either too hot or too cold. And if we go anywhere and want to take our dogs, that's out. And it's not a practical car for commuting, just because it's hers and not mine. I did buy a commuter car for my 60-mile-a-day commute, and it gets great fuel economy. But I absolutely hate the car. On a good day, it'll get 50 miles per gallon. But it's just the most boring and tedious car to drive that I've ever owned. I guess I've owned worse cars, but I've never owned a worse car that I was making car payments on. So I think the Mach E Mustang, I think it's there's a lot of things going for it. For one, right now the government is still offering rebates, to buy an electric vehicle to encourage people to invest in that technology, and I think it's something like $2,500 for the state of California, and like $5,000. I could be wrong. I think it's like a total of $7,500, which would actually allow somebody to put that towards a down payment. I believe. I could be wrong, but I mean that would be a great help in getting reasonable car payments, and actually help with the offsetting any kind of debt you have on the car that you're paying for, because most cars depreciate faster than you can pay them off, and my car is no exception. It's a 2018 Mitsubishi Mirage, the boringest car sold in America, I must say. And I put a ton of miles on it. We've, for one, I commute over 300 miles a week, and pretty much drive it anywhere because it gets great fuel economy, and you can throw quite a bit of stuff in it. As long as you're not moving furniture and whatnot, you can put pretty much any kind of groceries or anything in the car, and we've taken it, on 300-mile road trips with the dogs to go visit our daughter and her husband and the twin grandbabies. So the Mustang, it's not practical for that. It's nice to take for Sunday drives, and it's nice to bounce around town occasionally when the weather is nice. But it's not very practical other than that. And it's not my car. It's my girlfriend's car, and it's kind of awkward for a time I drove it to work and back for a couple months, and racked up a bunch of miles, and she wasn't very happy about it. So that's pretty much what drove me to purchase the Mitsubishi. And I feel like I made a huge mistake. And I think the Mustang, the Mach E, from everything that I've heard about it, it's going to be a fun car to drive, and very efficient. You know, obviously you're not paying for gas, but and on top of it, it's a 4-door, and it has some storage. It has a hatch, and it has, you know, what they call a frunk, which is a front storage area, like where the engine would normally go on a gas-powered vehicle. There's a space that's perfect for storing all sorts of things. They say you can even put food items, and you can put ice in there, and there's like a drain plug. It's pretty neat. So I'm pretty excited to see this car, and I'm very interested in possibly purchasing one. But on the other side of this, I'd like to get some videos of the car and ask some hard questions about different things that people might be interested in, including myself. And I think I have a different take on the car. I realize a lot of people are going to be like, it's not a Mustang. It's a 4-door, for Christ's sake, and it's crossover, and it's electric, and there's all these things that are not Mustang. But I get where Ford is going. If you're going to create a brand for something new, why not use an iconic name that, you know, everybody associates with just having fun and performance, and just Mustang, the classic Mustangs, they're just a fixture in American life. And I don't have any problem with Ford capitalizing on the name, and I understand that they will never replace the current crop of gas engine powered Mustangs. They're just too much of a love affair. It's not just in America, it's worldwide. Statistics in Germany have the Mustang outselling other similar vehicles like 2-to-1. In 2015, when they came out with the all-independent rear suspension in the Mustang, it just elevated the car to a different level. And some people don't like the styling. They think it's kind of too Eurocentric, but I really love it. We love our 2017, and I would absolutely love having like a GT500, but fortunately I'm not my income bracket is far from being to where I can afford something like that. But I really do think that the Mach E is something that I could possibly afford, and I think it's a good alternative to other SUVs that are a little bloated. And if you want something like the new Ford SUV, the Explorer, with the high performance version, you're talking $60,000-$70,000 for that, and it doesn't do anything any different than previous SUVs. This car has the potential to really break a lot of boundaries, and it's not a Tesla. I feel like Tesla's kind of the standard bearer for electric vehicles, but if you are loyal to a brand like myself, I'm very loyal to Ford. I love all my Fords that I've had over the years. Even my Pinto station wagon I had, 15, 20 years ago. it was a pile of crap, but I love that damn car. And sometimes I kick myself for getting rid of it. I always wanted to do the V8 conversion and be a little different. It was a Pinto with the wood grain sides. It would have been an interesting drag car with like a small block Ford. But I digress. So back to the Mach E. I just think that it's going to be a boundary breaking car, and I don't necessarily want to be on the Tesla bandwagon either. I think right now Tesla has a lot of stuff going for it, but Ford is a global company. They have a dealership network and parts availability that is like probably not, there isn't very many companies that can compete with that, with the exception of maybe General Motors, or I think you're not going to have the infrastructure for parts and repair that Ford provides. Tesla has their charging stations all over the damn place, but I think it's only a matter of time where the other manufacturers are going to catch up. And because Ford and General Motors have such a large network of dealerships and repair facilities and a global network of manufacturing might, I believe that there's going to be a point where Tesla's market is going to be eaten away, because they just are still a small company, relatively speaking. And I really think that the future is going to be in, these brands that we're all familiar with. And I personally am very loyal to Ford, just because it's just been part of my adult life. My first car was a Mercury Comet. Then I got a couple Rancheros, and I've had the Godzilla Torino for 20 years, and that's my baby. And then I've had numerous Ford pickup trucks. I've had an F-250, and I got the F-350 that I currently own. This 1978, which I love that Ford too. I've had Ford Rangers. I've had a Torino station wagon. Fords are part of my life, and I'm not saying that they're the best car ever, that they don't have their problems, but for me, I bleed blue when you cut me. I'm a blue oval loyalist. So if I'm going to get an electric vehicle, I want to go with the company that I identify with, and I think this car on the spec sheet, it's pretty consistently competitive with everything out there and all the other similar SUVs, crossover type vehicles. And it has I believe that they talk about the car, it handles well, it performs well, and you can get it in different iterations. You can get the single motor rear wheel drive version, which is, I'd have to look up the specs, but it's just like the lowest level. And then you've got the all-wheel drive, that's the two motor version, which I think is something like 350 horsepower with like 460 foot-pounds of torque or something. The torque figures are ridiculous, and with the 270 mile range. And I think the top tier Mach E is going to be the 3 motor all-wheel drive version that is like supposed to perform 0 to 60 in around the 3-second mark, 3.5-second mark, and God knows what the top speed will be. And hopefully it's going to be equipped with, you know, a special handling package. And I think there's a lot that you could do, and hopefully there'll be software updates to where you can bump the performance or actually improve the efficiency. I just think that this is the future. We are I don't think we're going to get an EV Mustang, or, you know, an Mach E Mustang that is going to like rival the performance of, say, a GT500, you know, or the hand. I mean, and I don't think you'd want that. Now, you don't. These people who put up these 4-door performance cars as their flagship vehicles to drive, I think they're silly. If you're looking for the ultimate performance in a vehicle, you don't want, you know, to take your kids and your dogs along with you. You want it to be a purely performance vehicle with a couple doors. You know, if it has a back seat, it's just minimal. You want it to be a little bit lighter than say the sedan version of whatever, you know, brand we're talking about. I think that with electric motors you can get an insane amount of performance, but there's nothing that's going to replace the sound and the feel and just the visceral, tangible feeling of driving a high performance multi-cylinder vehicle, you know, whether it be supercharged or normally aspirated. There's something about an internal combustion engine that just stirs the soul. I don't think an electric vehicle is going to do that for anybody. But that being said, I do believe there is a place for this car. I do believe that there's a market for it, and for somebody like me that I have a long commute every day and I'm bored to death driving a commuter car, this would be a perfect alternative, because not only is it extremely efficient, and it's also pretty fast. Even the lowest performance version is going to be faster than the equivalent gas-powered vehicle, even with something with greater horsepower, because of that torque curve is tremendous on an electric vehicle. And then you have the added benefit. I want a vehicle that I can take my dogs on trips, and a 2-door Mustang with a minimal back seat is just not going to cut it. I got 3 dogs, and they're like all over the place. They're hairy. They, you know, you really can't do it in a 2-door vehicle. We did it. We've taken the dogs in the Mustang, and they don't even like the top being put down. They're cramped, they're whining, they're unhappy, and then you got to worry about them scratching the upholstery. It's just a mess. So, and then if you want to, like my grandkids, they're going on 2.5, or they're going on 3 years old. They'll turn 3 in June, and even though they're pretty small, until they're like about 6 or 7 years old, you got to have a car seat. Good luck putting a car seat in the back of a convertible Mustang. Forget about it. It's just not going to happen. So these are all reasons why I think this would be a good vehicle. So Friday, I'm going to check it out. We're going to go and we're going to take some videos. I'm going to try to crawl under the damn thing and try to dig around and look at some things that they normally frown upon you doing when you're just getting like a sneak peek. But I don't care. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. It's because I want to show all of you what this car is all about, and then, you know, we can talk about modifying the car. I think that it's a Mustang, for crying out loud. Even if it's a four-door crossover, it's still a Mustang. So people are going to put tires and wheels. People are going to try and soup up that the electric, motors, and trying to squeeze more performance out of it. There, people are going to try to do lightweight body panels and ground effects. And people are going to do stuff. And I'm very excited that in the name it implies that we'll have the ability to do more than just drive the car. It'll be a car that we can kind of get a little bit of an emotional investment in. Whereas I know people love their Teslas, but I mean, give me a break. They look plain. Teslas do nothing for me on an emotional level. They don't have any kind of history behind them. There's no tradition. There's no nostalgia attached to Tesla vehicles, and they're kind of ugly. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Teslas are ugly. They're ugly as all get up. You see a Tesla, and you might as well be a Toyota Camry. It might as well be a Corolla, for Christ's sake. It's not a vehicle that inspires anybody. And I'm sure we got a Cybertruck aside, that crazy ass truck. I love that thing, but who the hell knows if we'll ever see that truck? I've heard rumors that Elon Musk has went ahead and redesigned the truck so that it would be more appealing to the masses or whatever. If I was to get one of those Tesla trucks, I'd want it to look exactly like the way that they unveiled it. Just because it would be fun. Just flip the bird to everybody out there. Everybody who said, you can't drive a car like that or a truck like that. But I digress. I'm not really an EV nerd. I'm more of a hot rod, big block V8 guy. But this Mustang, the Mach E, it seems like a very practical vehicle that will do a lot of things that I want in a vehicle. And I'm just going to check it out and we'll see. Talk to you guys on Friday or Saturday. I'm probably going to take me a minute to make a video out of whatever I record. And I ran my mouth for 23 minutes, so I don't think that there'll be a whole lot more to say other than show you the car and talk about some of the things that I observe. So I'm out until Friday. Talk to you later.